of our beloved Patriots. It's looking more and more. I think we're going to have Belichick's last game this week, and I don't know. I don't. Now that it's getting closer and more real, I don't know. I mean, I know earlier in the season we were all like, "Yeah, get rid of them. I'm tired of them."
Yeah, I don't know.
And now that it's crept closer, I'm just like,
You feel like with this guy, it should have been on his terms, but it just hasn't gone well the last 4 years on his terms.
This is a saying I use, and I use this a lot when our former president was in, and I use it with Belichick. The devil that you know is sometimes better than the devil that you don't. And who's going to come in and take over this team? Where are we going to go? It's just we're all excited. I know Paul's on. He's in the Sean McVay camp, which I don't think he's leaving LA anymore. I hear a lot of names popping around, and I'm like, they're going to come here. And we're used to, 24 years, 25 years of seeing how this guy does it. His ups and downs, we're so aggravated with him. He's so revered. Like, what comes in? What changes? Obviously a lot changes, but it's just,
Depends on what they bring in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're just going to go with Mayo, I don't think a lot's going to change.
How about what they bring in for talent? If they have a lot of money this offseason, if they have someone else manage the talent, manage the draft, just let Belichick coach. If they brought in, good offensive players through free agency, through the draft, that someone else picked, wouldn't we want Belichick to coach that team? Because he took this team that sucks. This team sucks, and they were competitive in most games. Competitive as far as defensively.
See, it's yes, I agree with you. I want to see what he can do.
Finally, after about a year, he finally agrees.
On the flip side, we get so aggravated. We're like, Belichick's lost touch. He's going to bring in new guys. What's going to happen?
I don't want him to bring in the guys. I want someone else to bring in the guys.
Yeah.
And then I want...
But is he going to give up that control? I mean, what we know about him is he's very pompous. Is he going to have enough sense of what's going on in the moment to be like...
Maybe that's part of the deal. You can stay, but we have someone else doing... what do they call it?
They need a change.
Yeah?
Unfortunately, they need a change. It's time. And I hate to say it because the guy's had a great run. And for all the people out there that want to argue that, he's done nothing without Brady, I mean, take away a great quarterback from most of your coaches in the league, in the history of the NFL, and where are they? How many Super Bowls has Andy Reid won without Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
0.
True, but he's been there a lot. But
KFB.
This guy can't read.
I know.
Yeah. Just whisper in his ear. He can't read. He's reading at a second grade level over there. Struggling.
Oh, yeah. It's the last time I'll do that, people.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know who's available. I hear names being thrown around, Brian Flores, but are you going to bring in another? If you're going to bring in a defensive guy,
bring in Brian Flores, you can't. So you're pigeonholed with Mayo. I almost call him OJ Mayo.
Yeah, how you bring Flores in over Mayo, right?
You can't. You're stuck with Mayo.
Yeah.
There's the succession plan is in. So that's what I mean. Do you really want to now be like, all right, Belichick, you're gone. We're pushing you out the door. We're going to hand it over to Mayo, who's been in your system. And, I mean, we see what happens with that Belichick coaching tree. Now it's going to be here. And again, like you just said, you got your defensive ways. And that's, granted, it's just not the way of the NFL anymore. Yes, we've seen an uptick this year. The defenses look better, but it's still an overall offensive. It's a quarterback wide receiver leg. Huge. Oh, God, Paul.
I see Dave
you
can't read that. You
I'm
can't read this. How are you going to read that?
So Paul Connors, bring in Mike Evans, bring in Marvin Harrison Jr., Russell Wilson, Jaden Daniels. I mean, this is like a Santa Claus wish list right here. So, yes, all of us would love those names. Absolutely.
But how many of them want to play in New England?
Yep. I see Bobby Burns here talking about Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson was going to be better than what we have here. He's not the answer.
No, he's a 3-year stopgap.
You draft an offensive lineman with the number 1 pick or the number 2 pick. We have no offensive line. You do something that can protect Russell Wilson that he's cried about his whole career.
Kraft is too cheap to bring in Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't think it's Robert Kraft running the show anymore.
I think as much as I think we're just telling ourselves that
Any of
because
the Krafts are too cheap to bring.
Okay, you might be right. You might be right, but it's not like Robert Kraft.
if Robert Kraft is not running the show, why is Robert Kraft having the exit? He's got to have the talk with Belichick. Why is it him?
All right.
It should be right. If he's not running the team, it should be Jonathan.
Do you think Joe Biden's running the country? I couldn't send that guy off to the grocery store to pick up almond milk.
No, but
he's the face, Robert Kraft.
But he's not having. He's not to get into political, but
I'm just saying
he's not the guy really doing these things. It's the people behind the scenes.
Right.
But everything you're hearing, it's Kraft going to sit down with Belichick. It's Robert. Why are we not hearing?
I don't know.
There's so many cracks in this year. Why are we not hearing more Jonathan? Jonathan is all keyed in until otherwise proven. He's all keyed in his soccer team.
I think if Robert Kraft is sitting down with Belichick, he might go in there with the anticipation of firing him and then forget.
And then
give him a 5-year contract. I don't
out.
think Robert Kraft has any idea what's going on. I think he's the face of. There's no way they're letting him make decisions. There's no way. There's got to be a team, and he can sit in, but I don't think at this stage Robert Kraft is making any decisions. I just don't see it. He can't put a sentence together.
No, I think.
Jonathan, dude, what are you even talking about?
Wow, that got really loud.
Oh, sorry. I just don't see him doing much.
Maybe that speaks to the state of the team.
Yeah, there's confusion, right?
And Jason here talking about he wants to pass the draft Michael Penix. I was against Michael Penix. I know we're jumping around here, but
let's jump right into Michael Penix.
I was against him all year.
Woo-hoo.
But then what I just saw between him and I'm sorry, the sack on what's his name there from the Michigan quarterback. I want to say McCarthy. Is that his name?
Perhaps.
But those two guys, stock value went through the roof. Especially this Penix. I mean, I don't think he's gonna.
If we see Penix do this same thing against Michigan's defense, you might be looking at a top 5 pick.
Oh, he's going to be number 1.
You know what hurts him?
2 ACLs and a bad shoulder injury. That's what's hurt. Yeah, so because right now he's a late first.
You look at what the Patriots have for an offensive line, and they put him in there, he's going to get killed.
Crushed.
Talk about one game completely changing so many of the doubters' minds.
Right, but we don't watch a lot of college football. He's had a great year.
No,
I've heard a lot about him.
Yeah.
But I've never actually seen until I was watching it yesterday afternoon, some highlights of that last game, and the way he throws the ball
it's
is
pretty.
incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Bob just compared him to Vince Young. Yeah, you got that comparison. But it's just.
No. He throws much better than Vince Young did not throw very well.
He definitely throws better, and Penix has been pretty consistent all year. But the problem is, it's like, one, a lot of people aren't seeing him. 2, the level of competition that he's played. But he was just on this big stage, and the moment wasn't too big for him.
No, and undefeated.
Yeah.
Beat USC, outplayed Caleb Williams, right?
Yep.
Now
he's in the Bo Nix class. He's 6-year senior
right.
or whatever.
I was talking to my older brother today, and we were talking about Vince Young, and he said Vince Young probably would have been a better quarterback today with the way offenses are, with his ability to run. They tried to make him a pocket passer, and that's not Vince Young.
Throwing to a lot of these guys, nowadays would have been.
Michael, me and my brother were talking. Michael Vick might have been the best quarterback of all time in today's game.
Yeah. He could. I watched every moment of that guy.
He could swing it. He could run.
And I was arguing for years that he could. Everyone's like, he can't throw the ball.
Oh my God! What a cannon!
Yeah,
You know what's funny? Watching Penix, he's got the same beautiful left arm that.
So, what I would say all the time about Mike Vick is, you are running at 100 miles an hour to his right or to his left, and then he would turn around on a dime and fire that ball the other direction. Right in the numbers.
Yeah.
To a streaking Mathis, and I'm like, you guys aren't seeing what this guy can do.
Love Michael Vick. I don't like the crap. I don't like the crap that he pulled off with dogs and killing dogs and all that crap.
Yeah.
But Michael Vick, the quarterback, go ahead.
He funded it.
He funded it. All right.
He was part of it, but he funded it.
He funded it. Right. I don't think he was physically.
No, you're
right. You're right.
Well, we're all hopped up up on Michael Penix.
Dude,
Let's see what happens next Monday
I-
because
I-
his draft stock. Next
Oh,
Monday,
yeah,
we're going,
goes
this
up.
guy's awful.
I-
Michigan quarterback.
I know, but we watch NFL football, and he was making throws that we don't see every week with
Yeah,
NFL
no,
quarterbacks,
he looked
dropping
great.
them perfectly, like perfect spirals. The ball just looked pretty coming out of his hands.
But McCarthy's a short ball guy.
But he looked
Hits
a lot
the running
better
backs
than.
out of the backfield. He's a high percentage thrower. Penix, he's got that. It's a quick release. The way he throws looks almost perfect.
Yes.
What I like.
Effortless.
Yeah.
What I liked about McCarthy, yes, I get it. He's a short ball thrower and this and that, but the game was in his hands, and he didn't falter.
So McCarthy would be a good.
He 2 drives nails, and
would-
that's something that like you look at a lot of these other guys that came out, like a Johnny Manziel. I'll just say that was. He never had those defining moments. I mean, he had a great career. I love watching him. I love the documentary. He's one of my favorites that never made it. But, like, you take this guy and you give him... They're about to lose the game. He went right down the field. First possession of overtime, right down the field. I mean, it just...
Now, where's he projected to go?
I don't know.
I'm saying late first, early second.
Okay, because I was thinking if he's like a second, third, that could be a San Francisco type quarterback, right? Because that's what they do, right? They control it with all their weapons, and
But
it
you
seems
have
like he could manage the game.
You have another great game next Monday.
Oh yeah, both of
You're
them,
on the
both
That
of them,
stock goes up.
both of them, right?
Yeah, the Patriots right now are number 2 unless they blow it and beat the Jets this weekend.
Well, I saw
will.
today that they can't fall beneath 5,
Right.
even if they win.
Well, the Cardinals helped them out big time last weekend.
Okay, and there's supposed to be snow on Sunday, so that kind of, who knows what happens when you have a
It's the
snow game.
Jets too. It doesn't.
Yeah. But it's one guy slips, and then you have a pick six. Like the weather plays a factor. So hopefully we lose, and then I don't know. I still want a wide receiver. I
do you
love
think-
Marvin Harrison. Go
How do
ahead.
you think they looked against the Bills on Sunday?
The Patriots?
Yeah.
They didn't look too good. I don't think the Bills looked all that good either.
I hear a lot of people getting caught up in the score of that game, and I'm just.
Because
Bailey Zappi looked like crap. First half
He did.
played terrible. He played a
He
little
was
bit better
awful.
in the second half.
Defense.
Josh Allen was awful.
Josh Allen was
I mean,
Oh.
there's a reason we're the Brother Wrong podcast because I sat up here last week and I will eat crow and talked about Josh Allen. He's bought in. He's making the right passes. He's doing the right thing.
He's a gunslinger.
And what happens is he gets down by 7 and wants to win it. He wants to tie it up with one play. One play. That's and that's what screwed them that whole first half. I swear, halftime they were like they grabbed him. What are you doing?
You know
What do
what's-
you do? Because he came out a different quarterback, but it literally he wanted to tie that. He was mad and he wanted to tie it with one play, and they couldn't get it done. And Belichick's like,
All right,
same old Allen.
Before I cream my pants, this will be the last thing I say about Penix. You watch Allen, and he's out of control. You watch Penix in this big game, very calm, very composed. That's how I want my quarterback.
Yeah.
In the biggest moments, like just very calm. And I would always tell like the women that I worked with, you gotta consider yourself to be like Tom Brady. He's usually just like calm under pressure. You can't tell if it's the first quarter of a preseason game or an important Game 12 battle. And I'd like to have a quarterback that just maintains that composure. Because Josh Allen doesn't.
No.
And he makes mistakes.
And that's it. But he came out a different. That second half, I'm like, okay, here's the Josh Allen that we were just talking about. Taking
What the defense
he was
gets.
giving
But
up.
you never had to remind Tom Brady of that. He
No.
just did it. But the fact that you have to remind this guy 5 years into the league,
Ugh.
it's a problem.
Yeah, and you can see it right after they scored that touchdown. I looked at him, and I'm sitting here with my cousin Jake and Leah, and I'm just like, here we go.
That goes back to
Like he's right back. He's going to try to win it. Yep.
But at some point,
that coach he's horrible.
right. But at some point, like Josh Allen, you're 5 years in.
Yeah.
You got to be better.
You do.
You gotta be
But
better.
Also, that guy's had one of the best rosters in the league to use for the last 5 years. I'm talking about the coach in Buffalo,
Yeah.
and he's done nothing with it.
Yeah.
He's had. I mean, they should have been a powerhouse
Right.
with Josh Allen getting better and better every year, and they were going out and getting receivers, and they have good tight ends, a great offensive line. The running backs are good, and this guy can't put it together
Yeah.
to win a playoff game. I mean, they should have been in the Super Bowl a
Yeah.
couple of years ago.
They had it. They were this close.
A squib kick
Yep.
with 13 seconds left to run some time off the clock, and he's too stupid to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I mean, get this weekend over with, and we'll spend some time. I'm very excited of looking forward to. Geez, I'm stumbling over my words here. But what we're going to see in the NFL playoffs, because I think this year it's going to be very wide open. There's no. I know that on paper there's clear-cut favorite, but until Baltimore wins the game, they're not my clear-cut favorite.
Right.
Flacco.
How would that be if Joe Flacco goes into Baltimore and knocks them?
I'm all in.
Playoffs?
Love it.
I would
love it
too.
Yeah.
I would love it.
Cleveland's one of those teams that has a really good roster. Not a ton of big names, but I mean a few. But really good defense.
Yeah.
Really just solid offense, and they were stupid enough to go out and get Deshaun Watson.
So they're a team that almost kind of followed the San Francisco model. They built the defense. They built an offensive line. They drafted. They signed players. They built that whole team up. And then, yes, I get it. They thought they had their quarterback. They went and spent it. But that's what we're saying we want the Patriots to do. I'm not saying we want them to spend that amount of money, but build that offensive line. You have the defense. A couple more pieces. A couple more weapons. Then go get your quarterback. I mean, we've seen it now. Two teams between Cleveland and San Francisco and Philly that it works. You know, the model works.
Philly hit a home run with Jalen Hurts in the second round, though.
Yeah,
He hit a home run. He's a top 5 quarterback.
I know that they hit a home run. I mean, I loved Jalen Hurts in college. A lot of people did. I knew wherever he went, I was screaming, going to New England, pick this guy. I can't believe he slips. Because he is good. And if you really watched college football, you saw he had
made him slip.
And his
smaller.
And his arm has gotten better.
Yeah.
Because when he was at Alabama, his arm wasn't great. It was a little erratic. And then he went to Oklahoma, got a little bit better.
Got excellence.
Yeah.
I mean,
And then has progressed ever since. And another thing that we got to get, he obviously has like this hard work ethic, good work ethic. So he's gotten better. But I hear what you're saying. Cleveland and San Fran definitely fall in that category.
Yeah, the Eagles head coach is killing them right now. I mean,
we put Matt Patricia in on defense. I mean, Matt Patricia was a good defensive coordinator here, with obviously the help of Belichick. I don't know how much of that defense was him, but yeah, I mean, this guy, I don't know what he's doing with the Eagles right now, because they're losing A.J. Brown. He's starting to. He's going off into La La Land.
Yeah, once you lose a guy like that, it's going to be hard to reel him back in.
They had an amazing working offense. They had so many guys, just the way they ran routes. They have so many running backs, their tight ends, and their whole offense has changed. It's like it's almost like Swift got hot a couple games, and they're like, we're going to go strictly Swift. Like, Swift's not that guy. He got hot because you couldn't cover Goddard, Smith, and Brown. Now you're almost coming back to be one-dimensional.
I don't think if they're not playing at home in the playoffs, I don't think they're going anywhere.
Well, this is also the year that I don't know. Is anyone really that good?
Anything happen? The Rams could squeak right back up in there. You know.
I mean, the Rams actually look really good, and that's a testament to Sean McVay, how good he is at coaching, because that roster is not that great. When you look at it on paper, at the beginning of the year, everyone's looking at the Rams like, oh God, they're gonna
They
end
hit
up with a top 5
2 home runs with Tyron Williams and Nakua.
Yeah,
It's whew. And the defense is
obviously
clicking.
that stuff helps, but I mean, just his coaching has been. I mean, even Stafford looks decent, and I kind of thought Stafford was done.
And he was injured this year.
He was just getting over his injury. That's
But
all.
he's getting older, and he's getting hurt easier and more often, and it's almost time for him to go. But McVay is doing a great job.
That's why we've said beat Paul Connors. Many other people say we love him here, but he's not leaving.
He's not. Why would you leave L.A.?
Why would you leave the warm weather in L.A. to come here?
Yeah. Speaking of people leaving, coming here, Kirk Cousins. I don't know if you watched the game the other day. Kirk Cousins is not leaving Minnesota. He
beating a dead horse. We've been saying it for.
He loves
months
Minnesota.
now.
Will take less. They desperately want him back after seeing what has happened to all their QB stables that they thought they might have had something. That team clicks with Kirk Cousins, and they're going to piss Justin Jefferson off. and he's their guy. If Justin Jefferson wants Kirk Cousins back, they're going to pay him. Kirk Cousins will be back in Minnesota
They'll
Purple
bring him
next year.
back. They need to.
But I
draft
would
a
love him
QB.
here. I would love that guy here, but it's not going to happen.
No. Nobody wants to come here.
There's two guys that, because I'm not even talking Kirk Cousins. It's Russell Wilson and Baker Mayfield. Those are the only two guys really worthy veterans to come here and keep us afloat.
Baker Mayfield's a guy that has played himself into a new contract with the Buccaneers. If they don't sign him, they're idiots.
Well,
And we never really know who becomes available in the offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't know Aaron Rodgers. Well, we kind of had an idea, but there's always somebody that becomes available. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if they even choose to go that route, because they might choose to draft someone in the top 5. So we'll see.
But even if they do, I mean, do you need to put him in right away?
Penix, yes. Let's go.
Get him killed.
yeah. I've
I still go with the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
If you can, there's so many quarterbacks going into this draft that if you can get yourself back into the
but
first
there's also
round.
so many offensive linemen. It's a big year
Yeah,
for
but
offensive linemen too.
these two that are projected in the top 10 are like the home run hitters with
Yeah.
when it comes to the left tackle.
Yeah, but if Brady never had, well, Trent Brown was good that year. But if you have a good quarterback that gets rid of the ball quickly, which it looks like Penix can, then it takes a little. You don't need the best offensive line. You just need solid.
You don't need the best.
You need
You
solid.
need solid, but then you need receivers that can get open quick, which we don't have still.
Yeah, we got Douglas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one guy that can.
But he's 5'8".
I know, but he's like your Edelman type.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
He gets
did
open.
A
He
great
gets-
slot. Worker.
Yeah.
Paul wants to talk about what I did want to get to is the refs against the Detroit Lions game this weekend.
All right.
Saturday night.
The refs are ruining.
We say that
Most
every week.
sports
We
right
are
now.
Yeah.
anti-referee right now, and it's
They're all
ridiculous.
They're all bad. I'm watching NHL refs. Guy gets hit from behind. One referee calls a 5-minute major. Same hit happens in the same game, and they don't even call a penalty. They see the guy down on the ice, and that was legit. You got umpires in baseball that call one ball right down the middle. They call it a ball, and you see these batters like they don't even know what to say at this point.
No. Well, Paul says here, when are we going to start to see them holding refs liable? I think this punishment that they just handed down to this team is probably the first thing. We're going to start to see this because they made it public. The NFL put it out there. This team is not going to ref in the playoffs. This team is not going to do any more primetime games. This team is, and
Yeah, let's keep them off TV so nobody notices.
but the NFL never really comes out and says
I
that.
know.
And this is an experienced referee team that's now not going to get that money.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what.
that's the first.
When you want something done, you hit people where it hurts, and that's the pocketbook
Well,
or
and
the
it's-
wallet.
I just hope that they're not out there
Fixing games.
well taking the game into their hands like a
Well,
playoff
what do
game.
you mean? They are.
Well,
the proof is
I'm
there.
just talking.
These
when
guys,
when the
Dave.
playoffs get started, are they gonna?
Oh, there's so much more money now. It's going to be. We are going to be talking about this every week about something like.
Having a hard time grabbing my
the
drink.
camera's up. I don't know if it saw you. do
Yeah.
that.
We should have that a little bit lower. Can we do that next week? Maybe
We'll adjust it
next
Yeah.
week. Yeah, next week we'll be back.
But
Better
I
angle.
mean, we're going to be talking about this week 1 wild card weekend. There's too much money involved. These guys have, it's. They were talking about. I forget the head ref's name. They just did this Detroit Lions, Dallas Cowboys game,
Brad.
and they looked back at like his last 4 games, and then I forget what they used. They didn't want to say it was suspicious, but they were like, this lines up with betting odds. They're like, oh, is it just a coincidence? Or
Well, I don't know. When there's money involved, is it ever really just a coincidence?
Yeah.
I don't know.
no, I mean, the fixing, we see it in the NBA, huge. I mean, Adam Silver kind of is turning a blind eye to it, but I
that
think
2
this
points
year,
was a win or a loss for Detroit.
Yeah.
Or a win or a loss for Dallas. So
Yep.
where was all the money?
Yeah,
You know?
I saw a video recently, and and it talked about how the NFL was registered under entertainment.
Yes, they're talking about that. That's been all over.
So
the,
if you're registered
the
under
interweb.
entertainment, like you can manipulate results.
WWF.
You can manipulate the results.
Yep.
And I think the NFL is probably in on all this, right?
You would have to. You'd have to think so.
Right?
You
Because
don't
why would
want
you
to,
call
like,
it
I don't even
entertainment?
wanna
Why
say
wouldn't you
that.
call it a sport?
Yeah.
Because then you're liable for certain things that happen like this.
Yeah.
But you call it entertainment, kind of messed up.
Yeah.
What's real nowadays?
I
The
know.
news isn't real. Wrestling's not real. NFL's not real. What the hell's real?
I don't know.
This is real good.
You know what's real? When major stars play against our Boston Celtics and pulled up huge numbers and beat our Celtics. Because once again this week, last night, Sean Gildas came to play and shut us down. I mean, he looked great. And this
Yeah.
I mean, so I went back. The Celtics have 7 losses.
Yep.
All right, we're going to get rid of the Knicks loss earlier in the season. Minnesota, Edwards, lights out, beat us. Halliburton, Pacers in that play-in tournament, lights out, came to play, showed up our 2 stars. All right, Pat Beverly against the 76ers, the game that we went to. Pat Beverly's not a superstar, but he single-handedly
Kept them in the game.
Yeah, we
beat
won
them.
that, but it was one of those games that we were like,
No
wow.
Embiid,
Yes.
no Maxey.
Yep, well, we didn't lose that game, but it's just like he put
That
the
game was
pressure
too
on a
close.
but earlier in the season we lost to the 76ers. Maxey showed out. All right, Cade Cunningham against Detroit. Yes, we won that game, but Cade Cunningham, that team had lost 26 straight games. Cade Cunningham took Detroit Pistons and took us to the playoffs. We barely just won. I mean, Stephen Curry, when we lost, he showed out. He went off.
Yeah,
You know?
he's the exception.
What
He's
I'm
a top
saying
5 all-time great. But yeah,
With these guys, be like, looks at
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown. Well, first off, they look at Brown because Brown in every one of these games too has had an awful game.
when
Every
Brown,
single one of these losses.
When Brown struggles, he is a liability on the court. When Tatum struggles, he can still do a lot of different things. When Brown struggles, he can't do anything.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I almost think it's these guys play us, and they're like, this guy's got a max deal with Jaylen Brown. Because Jaylen Brown, once again, had a great stat line last night. I think he was 4 for 18 for field goals.
okay, yeah, I was going to say
0
yeah,
for
we
8.
watched the same. Yeah.
0 for 8 for 3-pointers.
Yeah.
5 personal fouls. 4
Yeah.
awful turnovers.
Right.
And it's just like, I think these guys come out, and we didn't see it till the 4th quarter last night when finally Tatum was like, guy, I'm guarding him.
Yeah, and Porzingis played pretty well, but I think that's what the Boston Celtics are starting to see. Every team that plays us, we're going to get their best effort every night.
Yeah.
So you are like what Golden State was.
But these games right here are our losses, other than that Knicks game. These singular players were kind of like the oddities. Like these guys like really had great games against us, and
Yeah.
their team won. And they're one. A lot of these, like the one superstar beat the 2.
It's funny, people always talk about how great a defender Jaylen Brown is. If he's a great defender, like Kobe I felt like was a great defender. Halliburton doesn't go off on Kobe like that.
No.
These guys don't go off on Kobe like that. So I don't think Jaylen Brown is this great defender.
No, he's not a 2. And so that stat line that I just said from last night's game would be more acceptable if he was locking down somebody on defense.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not.
absolutely. He's
Earlier in his career, we were like, wow, he could play defense.
Yeah.
But so far, everybody on that team, Tatum, definitely. Porzingis, he's a little rough, but he can shot block.
Yeah.
We'll go with Derek White, Tatum, and Drew Holiday.
Yep.
Those are your lockdown
Right, yeah.
You know, and then you have, even after that, I'll name Hauser and your man Pritchard. They're 2 better defenders than Jaylen Brown. I think it's because they try a little bit more. But Brown, I'm just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's frustrating at times. And when he struggles offensively, he does nothing defensively. Tatum can get other people involved. Jaylen Brown struggles with that as well.
Yeah.
It's tough to see.
So was he worth the max deal?
Yeah, 100%.
You have
100%.
to.
Yeah,
And
100%. He's a max deal guy.
People talking about it at work, I'm like, you had to pay him.
Absolutely.
You
What, are
had
you going to lose him for nothing?
Yeah.
No, he's a max. And you know what? People are like, well, he's the highest paid player in basketball. Next year, he won't be.
No, and the thing is, so he's under contract. Everyone forgets about this now. Next August, he becomes a huge trade piece.
If you feel like that's the direction you
But
want to
I'm
go
just
in.
saying,
Yeah.
you now have a
Yeah,
superstar
you have the chip.
that's locked
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
and with the cap and everything else the way it is, you can actually move this guy pretty easily, and you're going to bring in talent. 'Cause
Right,
you
right.
got to make money match.
Right.
So,
right. And there was a time that Al Horford signed a max deal,
yeah.
and he was one of the top paid players in the NBA. Is he a top player in the NBA?
At
No,
that
but
time for the Hawks, he was really good.
right. But a lot of being the top paid player is just timing and when you become a free agent, and I think that's what Jaylen Brown was.
Yeah.
The right free agent at the right time.
Yep, 100%.
So
Before we go into Dave's Bruins minutes, I want to get into. Did you hear Gordon Hayward?
I did hear bits and pieces of it. It looks like you have it, and
Let's see if I can get this to play. So,
yeah, I think that's easy to see.
yeah, I mean, but I love hearing these little bits and pieces. I mean, because we remember watching that game, watching those that year, and just being like, this team is the team.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then, and then
yeah.
we're like, why aren't these guys looking for championships? This,
Yeah,
that. But
they
to
don't
hear
care.
Gordon Hayward come out and say
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
it's just
So we have Kyrie Irving.
but
Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward,
Yeah.
Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Horford doesn't need the ball, but there was Terry Rozier, Marcus Smart,
And that's
Marcus
what's so-
Morris.
when
God,
when he talked, there was another clip that I don't have here. It was he first was myself, Kyrie Irving, and Al Horford. We were the big three. We
Yeah.
were the ones promised when that was the sales pitch.
Yeah.
And then he's like, and then the rest of the sales pitch was, you three are going to run this team, but we have Jaylen Brown, Terry Rozier, and we have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum
Yeah.
that are the future, that are going to be the succession plan. And then he started going with the Terry Rozier and the Marcus Smart and the rest of the
those
team.
guys should have been shipped out of town,
Yeah.
right? Because you can do young Tatum, young Jalen with those three, but you can't throw in Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier, Marcus Morris. It's just too much.
Yeah. Well, like you said, all the the agendas, and then you couldn't. These guys didn't want to listen to each other.
Yeah.
The
Too many
egos in
too
that
many
room.
egos. Yeah,
you know? And I loved listening to it. There's a lot of it here. I don't know if it's Gordon Hayward on the Paul George podcast. I mean, he did a lot of talking, but the stuff that he did with the Celtics, I guess we all kind of knew, but it was just, to me, it was refreshing to hear
Yeah, an athlete
from an
say it.
actual
Still
athlete
playing.
that was there.
Still playing.
And he didn't even say it in a vindictive way. So
No.
you're like, oh, this guy. No, he was just kind of giving
I
you a
kind of laughed about it.
yeah, he was kind of giving you a glimpse of what was going on in there and a little validity to what we were all saying.
Tell you what, he gets bought out at the deadline, which is a possibility. He's a free agent next year.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him here coming off the bench.
Yeah, I would 100%. And he still has a decent relationship with
Brad
Tatum.
Stevens and Brad
yeah,
Stevens.
I'm just talking with the guys on
Yeah.
the team that are there.
Because to have a 6'8" wing off the bench,
Yeah.
ooh, that'd be a nice
That
piece.
was one of the other things he was talking about Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And Gordon Hayward was talking, he's like, I felt that I'm in really good shape. I went to the gym. I worked so hard to just come out and just be a tougher player after this injury. And he's like, and I'm in there with Tatum. And this guy's just making it look easy. He's
Well,
like,
Tatum's a natural athlete.
but he was just like
Yeah.
the muscle and everything just kept. And he's like talking about in Charlotte. He goes, "I am going so hard, I can't put anything on." He goes, and then I talked to, I forget what he called him, but it was Tatum.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Because this guy's a monster."
It's just different. Genetically gifted.
But he
different.
was giving kudos to the amount of work that this guy puts in,
Yeah,
and the craft, and how much he truly loves this game.
Oh, I 100%. Sometimes I question whether Tatum would rather be the MVP of the league or an NBA championship, but I never questioned the amount of work that he puts in.
I truly think he wants both.
That's the problem with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
They're more worried about the individual getting paid, all that stuff.
They also grew up in an individualistic society where it's like, look at me on Instagram, look at me. So a lot of it, we grew up different, right?
But I think as Tatum, and he talks about it, we've heard it, when he got into the league and Hayward gave it a little validity there, it's like the agendas. He wanted the MVP. He wanted
Yeah.
those things. But I think as his brand has grown and as he's developed in the game, I think he realizes, wait a minute, if I really want this money and this bag and this legacy, I need a ring. And he even said it in the offseason.
The
When
legacy,
he was
yeah.
in like the barbershop thing, he was like, I need the ring.
The legacy comes with the ring. But
Yeah.
a lot of times, like Gordon Hayward was just saying, these athletes, they say the right thing, but
Yeah.
then when they are on the
Do they
court,
mean it?
right.
But when it comes to money, so like the MVP, can you know, for, like I said to myself, a very big NBA fan. I can't name the last 6 MVPs. I don't even remember who was last year's
Jokic
MVP.
won 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but like nobody remembers, and Jokic's doesn't have that bag. The MVP isn't getting him the money; it's that ring. And I think it took him a minute to realize that.
Yeah.
You know,
And I also think like a big part of getting the money is have you hit the first team All NBA, because I think that
he
bumps
hits
you
that
up.
every year.
Yes,
I'm
so
just
he'll
talking
be
about
good.
the money not in his contract,
Right.
but all
okay.
the extras.
Yeah.
all the,
You
You know,
gotta
everything
be
that comes along with being a champion.
you
You
want
get
to be
that Subway
you want to be the
commercial.
face of the league. I don't think Jokic. It's harder for him to be the face of the league. His English isn't great. He's kind of goofy looking. It
And
would be
you know,
much easier for
and
Tatum.
nobody
But you're
gives-
not remembered for MVPs.
Right.
It's the championship.
Championship. Yep.
And nobody gives credit to any of these NBA stars. I feel bad for Barkley and Ewing and all these guys because they don't have a ring.
Right.
You know,
Well,
that's what Tatum has to listen to.
Yep.
You know,
You take the championships away from Jordan, and do people really? They'll still talk about them, but not.
Well, in the NBA, where you're 1 out of 5 guys on the field, on the court, right? In football, you're 1 out of 11 offensively, and then there's a whole defense. But in the NBA, you're 20% of the game.
Yeah.
So I think you should be judged by. I mean, unfortunately for Barkley and Ewing and Robinson. Well, he ended up winning.
Get one.
They all-
was it Karl Malone?
They all
John
had
Stockton.
they all had to play against Jordan.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit more difficult because you had the GOAT.
Yep.
So before we go into the Bruins minute and your little song, go hit the song. I just want a Bruins half minute for myself, and then I'll go urinate.
I'd like to hear it.
You know what comes with this song this week? To piggyback on my Patriots take, once again wrong on Elite Crow, because as of last week I said I listed the teams and I was like lost.
That's what I was going to talk about in my Bruins half minute. That you two were sitting here nervous. You're like, now you got the tough teams coming up. What the hell's going to happen? 4-0. That's what's going to happen. So, on that note, I'm going to go pee. And my foot fell asleep. It really did.
And once again, we can talk about the referees because against Detroit, they were allowed a goal. The Detroit player hit Swayman's glove, knocked it out of the way of exactly where the shot was going.
Are you mad they won?
Went in the net, and then they challenged it because it should have been not a penalty, but just goaltender interference. And the referees came and said, well, he was out of the blue paint, so it was okay. I've never heard that in my life watching hockey, that it's
affected
okay to
everyone, Dave.
impede a goaltender's ability to make a save, whether he's in the paint or out. So you're telling me that if the goalie's out of the blue paint, you can hit him?
Apparently, to this referee, you can if it fits the narrative of what his bet is.
I honestly look at the Bruins every year. I watch some of these calls that go against them that you're like, there's no way they can go with this call, and then they do, and it's like, it's because it's the Bruins.
Yeah.
That
I think you're partial to that because you watch so much Bruins. Like we talk about with Tony and I with the Celtics, we tend to pick out these things more because we watch it all the
you're
time.
probably right.
You know, you're not.
And
Yeah.
I'm a little, it's Swayman.
If you're
so
watching the
I'm a
Blues
little
all year,
biased here with Swayman.
you're thinking that as a Blues fan. But since you watch sorry, it's the mic. I didn't mute the microphone, so at home you're listening to Tony in the bathroom. So let me. There we go. That's a little better. I picked it all up in my headphones. I don't know if you guys got that out there.
So I guess the message to the team was their effort was not there, and they've picked that up. And at the beginning of the year,
Do you have the fan on?
I kept saying that.
Shut up.
I kept saying that they signed Shattenkirk, who was an awful signing, and he's been.
We sat here last week and we were
he's
talking
one of
about
their
how good
best-
he was.
He's been one of their best defensemen.
Yeah.
He's making great plays. He's scoring goals now, which is unusual for
Scoring
him. But
goals, Dave. Since
I'm just talking Shattenkirk. He's got 3 goals in the last 4 games.
the whole team. I'll
they're
sit up here and eat
scoring's
crow.
up.
I'm sitting here talking about how many goals they're letting up. They let up in the last 4 games. They got almost 20 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, this team right now.
And they finally brought one of their offensive stars of Providence
And who was that?
to play, Georgi Merkulov.
No, wasn't the guy that I was hoping you were going to say.
They did not bring Lysell.
Yeah.
He's
I'm sorry. What was this guy's name? George Murison?
Merkulov.
7'8" George
He's,
Harrison.
He's from Russia, but I think he played at like Ohio State hockey. I don't even know where he played, but he was an undrafted kid. He's played really well in Providence for 3 years. They finally gave him a shot, and he hasn't like broken out, but he looks good out there. They played well.
I think the game against New Jersey, I think they looked really well. That was the game I think you went to,
Yeah.
right? So they looked really. I think the game against Detroit was the one that I really wanted to see because Detroit was one of those teams that we were kind of hyping up earlier in the year. I know Tony
Yeah.
was all about the Red Wings.
Oh yeah, I love
And,
Stevie Eisenman, baby.
And
I thought that was the game for sure they were going to lose.
Detroit, their whole game plan was to attack Marchand and
Yeah.
Pasternak. Cheap shots, little extra hits after the whistle, stuff from behind, and
The rest of the guys came.
Marchand got in trouble for a little bit,
Yeah.
chirping at the refs, whatever. But
Which I'm sorry, he was justified.
oh, he was
100%.
Even Montgomery actually came out after the game and was saying how that was their game plan, was
Yep.
to go after our star players, and if the league is going to allow that, then they're going to lose out because these star players, they need them to make the league successful.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me you're going to allow guys to just take cheap shots at Crosby and McDavid and all them guys?
Could you imagine that happening in the NBA?
Well, I was going to say when you talk about Detroit, the Red Wings, it sounds like they took a page out of the Detroit Pistons from the '80s.
Yeah.
because they used to do that, right?
But it didn't work. It didn't work. 'Cause
They
got-
won 2
got-
championships.
Well, the Red Wings.
Oh, the Red Wing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Dave said, people watch games, especially young kids, to see the stars.
Yep.
And the NFL has it. They overprotect the quarterbacks because that is where the money comes from. It's the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So you can't just let Pasternak and Marchand just take cheap shots and.
No, this is a league that they don't want fighting anymore. They're really cracking down
Right.
this year, especially on hits. I mean, even hits that are close, they're calling. I mean, and then you're gonna let that happen to
Right.
two really. Marchand and Pasternak are 2 of the premier stars. They really are, especially Marchand because he's just. And granted, Pasternak is entertaining in the way that he scores goals, but Marchand is just that camera's on him.
They want to take out the policing by the teams by getting rid of the fighting, and this is the stuff that happens.
Yeah.
You get into a playoff
Yeah, you're right. I
series.
didn't think of that.
If the Bruins, if the coaching was a little smarter going into the playoffs, depending on who you're playing, you bring a guy like, Luch might not ever play again, but you use him as a guy to go after and antagonize the other team's star player.
Yeah.
And they don't have anyone that really does that. I mean, I love Trent Frederick, the kid. He scored that goal. He ran the goalie over against Detroit.
Yeah.
And when he got up, one of the defensemen for Detroit was mouthing to him, and he just big smile on his face. You want me? Let's go.
That's the stuff I love to see.
He ran the
Just get
goalie
excited.
over, and he was ready to accept any
Yeah.
consequence. You want to fight? We'll
Yeah.
do it. And the guy just all he wanted to do
Is
was
he like
chirp.
is he a really tough guy?
Frederick likes to fight,
Okay.
but he's also he's got offensive talent, so they've kind of tried to get him to play more offense.
Yeah. Then
and
worry
less
about
fighting. And
Yeah.
he's fun to watch, and I watch him more and more when people start chirping at him. He just smiles. drop your gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
Stop
knows
talking.
he knows what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Like the toughest guys around, they never like run their mouth. They're just
No.
confident and they're quiet, and they'll wink at you, they'll smile, and then
Yeah.
you know on the other
Sean
end, okay,
Gordon was one that guys would chirp, and he would just be like, shut the F up and do something.
yeah. If not, just leave me alone.
I remember a clip of, I forget, it was a Canadians player skating by him, and he goes, I'll let you choose what hand I beat you with.
Yeah. He was good. I loved him. Yeah, Paul. What's happening with sports in America right now? I agree. They're trying to take a lot of the aggression out of it. But I'm not going to stop watching.
Yeah.
I'm not. It gives me something to complain about in my
Yeah.
in our ever-growing age.
Whine and cry when the Bruins have to play Florida in the playoffs, and Florida just beats the hell out of them.
But we can use the whining and crying segue right into. I would love to spend a couple minutes on our Boston Red Sox.
Oh God. Oh, the worst.
Turn down your microphone.
Oh.
They finally got rid of Chris Sale's contract.
Yeah, but
too
they
late.
paid $17 million out of it.
I know, but they still. I mean, it is too late. They should have got rid of him a couple of years ago.
He had no value.
So this was the
But
last year
at
of
least
Sale's
they
contract,
made a move finally with him.
right? Was this the last?
Last year.
So this is.
But how many times are we going to sit there and go, oh, he'll come in the spring, he'll get hurt, he'll be out for most of the season, might come back at the end of the year, then his arm will be tired for the playoffs if they even
If it's
have
not
a
broken.
chance. Yeah. I mean, the guy was useless. His contract was horrendous.
But you pay. So I agree with all those things. But you paid to get rid of him. Just keep him, and then you never know. Now this is the thing.
Well, maybe the kid
'Cause
they
now
got
he'd be-
for him is...
Now he'd be playing for a contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with this kid, this crapbag pitcher that they just signed, who just basically is a home run machine.
I mean, 3 years ago, he was really good.
Yeah.
But he's going to be. We're going to see. He'll probably have a decent
He's
year
on a 1-year deal.
because he's going to
Yeah.
play for a next
Yeah,
contract.
yeah.
He's on a 1-year deal, and he used to be really good. And then maybe the GM, who was a pitching coach,
He used to be really good until they stopped with the little tricks that the pitchers could do, and then immediately that next season,
Yeah.
his stuff dipped.
right? But he did have 200 strikeouts last year. He had a tough year last year, but he did have 200 strikeouts.
What Paul here says, Grissom was a great pickup. Yeah, he would have been great for a low market team.
No,
Not what we want
he's
here.
he would have been great if you didn't have to eat $17 million out of Chris Sale's contract, and say you ate like $6 million,
No,
and now.
nothing because
Yeah.
it was a free agent. This is such a stupid deal.
Well, my hope was that when they
Oh.
traded Sale, I'm thinking, all right,
Sorry.
they got Grissom, and now they can use $25 million and go get Snell. So now, in order to get rid of Snell, you brought in Grissom, who's a 21-year-old second baseman, and Snell. I said
so
Snell.
basically, now you're paying $17 million for Grissom.
Yeah,
That's how you have to look at it.
Yeah.
So what are you doing?
He does have 6 years under team control, but when I heard that, the
But we're
Sox
going to
were-
screw that all up because guys with team control, we go to arbitration, we piss him off, and if he was
Arbitration, yeah.
any good, where he's gone.
Yeah, so
Brian, I completely agree with you. I love it. Keep Sale and make him a closer. Would have been great. His best stuff, other than his first year, we won that World Series with him coming out of the bullpen.
yeah, but they
I
were
know,
they were using all the starters in the bullpen.
But Sale was nails coming out.
Right. But Porcello was too. Evaldi was too. And the only reason he closed the game was because Kimbrel was so erratic at that time.
You're going to
It
watch.
was time to move on from Sale.
I
I don't care
Then you do
anything
it-
about the money.
You do it after the season because,
No, just let him. Just get him.
Dave,
out of
it's the
here.
last year of his contract.
Yeah.
You've
They
got
should've- they
nothing
should've moved on
out
from
of him.
Last year,
Every-
the year before. It's about time they finally did.
And I was happy with it. I
Like,
think
who
I said right
cares?
away when it came out in our chat, I was excited. Oh, yes, it's finally gone. And then I saw that we paid.
Yeah, I
It's
just didn't
now
like
it's
to
a
pay him
pointless
17
move.
million. Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
absolute pointless
Yeah.
move to pay $17 million for him to take him on a contract year. I'm telling you right now, this guy,
To a team that has
a winning, he
an
wanted
endless
to go.
wallet that, and they don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
But they still $17 million to them is a drop in the hat. So who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah.
He's
gone.
gone.
Well, it's not a drop in
Bye.
the hat to them anymore.
because they don't
It
want to
is-
spend.
It's still a drop in the
To
hat to them. It's
but
just,
they just don't want to spend
they
that
don't want
money.
to spend.
Now he's going to come
Yeah.
to Atlanta and play. Watch
Yeah.
next
Well-
year. He's going to be
well,
lights out. He's going to be the National League Cy Young
He,
winner
he
next
could
year.
be good, but the thing with Sale is it doesn't matter if it's a contract year. He gets hurt. It's not like I never question does he want it bad enough. I question is he going to stay healthy. So the fact that it's a contract year, I don't really think
Guy's
like
built like a stick figure.
yeah, I don't think he's extra motivated because it's a contract year. I just think he can't stay healthy.
What is his workout? He play PlayStation MLB?
He rides his bike.
He rode his bike.
Yeah, well,
he,
that does a
big bike
lot for
rider.
your arm.
yeah. So, but
His arm gets tired every year.
I got a message from your buddy Paul about 3 weeks ago before he got traded, saying Sale was in Fort Myers. He lives down in Fort Myers, getting clocked at 101 miles an hour.
I know.
So, but I just don't know if he can be healthy because he had some spurts last year where he was throwing gas.
But every rotation, every free agent pitcher, every signing, you put him together. You and Justin would put him together, and I'd watch your little starting rotation. And every one of those rotations had Sale in it, and basically hinged on him having a good year.
Well,
now you're gonna take him out, right? So even with the hopes of the good year, what are you replacing that
Yeah,
with?
well, that's the problem with picking up $17 million. Now you're not replacing it. I had
Thank
Sale. I thought if Sale got traded, that means we get Grissom, who I actually like, and Snell. So now that's not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. And I always had Sale pegged as my number 4 starter.
But what an unbelievable number 4 starter with the
Yeah,
upside.
he'll
Right.
be great in Atlanta because
He could be
you
the
don't rely on him.
yeah. And if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. Yeah.
Get 10 wins out of him this
Yeah.
year, they'll be psyched.
And the thing with Grissom,
I get the over.
what was the over?
I just a friendly bet. I took the over of 10 wins.
Over 10 wins. Well, if he stays healthy, he'll get over 10 wins.
If he stays healthy and comes
huge
out and
question.
plays,
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, I'm looking to take the bet as soon as
If
he
he
comes
stays
out.
healthy, he
NL
would've won-
Cy Young winner.
Well, I don't think he can stay healthy enough for that.
The Red Sox are the new Marlins. I'd rather the Marlins
They
right now.
need to sell this team because they don't care. They need to sell this team. And Teoscar Hernandez wants to play here, but the Red Sox are looking to ship off payroll in order. He wants
In
to
order
sign
bring
here,
him in.
Yeah.
so that means
They
either
don't have enough money to bring him in.
That's what drives me.
That's a joke.
Basically, that was the free agent that they said, we want you. We have to shed payroll. You're right away as that free agent.
you're not
I'm
the
gonna be
Kansas City Royals.
Be like, no, I'm good. Wait a minute.
God.
So you're going to shed your players to sign me. So basically, you're not going to add to a team that stinks around me. That's
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
It's a pretty sad state of affairs.
Yeah, they need to sell the team. They just don't care, and it's sad.
Yeah.
It's very, very
It's
sad.
It's bad. And all we did last year was trash Hein Bloom.
Yeah.
And it's not him.
No, it's not. They don't.
I mean,
The
yeah,
old-
his
I told
philosophy
Tony-
is a little.
All year long, it wasn't Hein Bloom. It
What?
was
What?
it was
That's
the
a lie.
ownership.
I was saying the whole time it's not Hein Bloom's fault. That's probably wrong. My only hope in this is that they're shedding payroll because they hope it's going to be easier to sell the team. That's my only hope. If there's less payroll on the books, it might be easier to sell the team.
The team still is very. I don't know what the word is, but
Profitable?
well,
It
people,
is.
People will buy it.
I
just
know,
because
it
it's
sucks.
the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
They don't have to shed payroll to get someone
Sucks.
to buy it.
Right. But does it bump the price tag up a little bit if you're not on the books for $300 million?
I don't think not with.
No,
I think
don't
with
so.
the Marlins, with Kansas City, with one of those teams, yes, but not with
Yeah, because you
like
know
a
the money's
Boston Red
the
Sox
money's coming
or a
in.
Yankees or something like this. No.
Yeah.
Brian says the 3 of Boston sports teams need new coaches. I disagree. Only 2. Montgomery is good and Core is good. They need new ownership. Yes, I think 3 of them.
The ownership, yeah. And
But
even-
Missoula and Kraft are your 2 coaches that
I
I'm
don't thi- I
sorry,
don't-
not Kraft. Belichick.
I don't think Cora's a good baseball manager. I think he's great at
See, I think he's good. I think he gets through
great.
it.
Yeah, I think he's great at keeping chemistry
But
with
that's
a
what
team.
you need
Yeah.
in MLB nowadays.
If you have talented players,
but you need.
but you don't even have talented
Start,
players.
right.
Yeah. If you don't have talented players, now you have to scheme a little bit, and I don't think he's good at that.
See, I think this team could have been a lot worse last year without Cora. I think he kept a lot of these guys engaged.
People like him. He's like an older brother to these guys. It feels like, and they like him, and
Very
they'll play for them.
likable guy.
Yeah, he's a
Jim
likable guy.
Montgomery's a very likable guy.
Yeah.
The issue that I think if there's an issue with the Bruins, is not the coach. It's the general manager
Yeah.
and
No,
the president.
I agree 100%.
Those guys, they fall in love with players and keep them here way too long.
Yeah.
3 of
Move
Boston's
on.
sports teams needs new ownership.
Yes.
And that would
ownership.
be your Bruins, your Red Sox,
And Jacobs
and everybody's
will never give
Patriots.
that money pit that's over there at the Garden.
Well, let's see what they do this offseason, because they have a lot of money, the Patriots, and if they spend it, and it's Jonathan Kraft kind of like taking the then I think we're good. I think we're
It'd be
good.
interesting to see.
Because they have, I think, the most amount of money this offseason.
Yeah. Yep.
So if they spend it all, that's what we
And-
want, right?
Yeah, I
I
agree.
said this months ago, and I'm going to say it again because I've heard rumors.
Are you doubling down?
If Josh McDaniels ends up as head coach of the New England Patriots,
It won't happen. It
I'm
won't
out.
happen.
You're out. Out where?
I will follow.
Are you
I
going to
don't
move
know.
out of New England? Where you going?
I don't.
Are you going to stop doing the show?
He's going to become.
What do you mean you're out? Like, what does that mean? You're out?
I'm not a Pats fan.
It's going to be
That's it. You're
all
gonna burn
Boston,
that?
all Boston Bandits.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
Boston Bandits. All
I
seven.
don't know. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals will be my
I-
new team. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be tough. I think there's a better chance that Mayo coaches and McDaniels comes in as the OC. I think McDaniels stays.
O'Brien's not going anywhere.
No?
No,
If Belichick leaves,
Nope. It's Mayo's the head coach. They're gonna be looking for a defensive coordinator.
you don't think Belichick takes O'Brien with him? Or maybe he
Nope.
takes McDaniels with him somewhere else?
No,
wanted
I
him
think
here.
they're
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Yeah, too hot-headed.
Belichick's. I mean, O'Brien's basically said it without saying it that he's not calling the plays. That I wish I had the exact phrase about it, but basically he was like, well, the plays, basically alluding to
You're
the
gonna
fact
have
that
to ask Bill.
alluding
Okay.
to the fact that
So that means he doesn't have the power that he wants.
Yeah.
What's going on with the offense? You're gonna have to ask Bill.
All right. So that right there says a lot.
I mean, O'Brien, he has a say, but it's not much.
Yeah.
It's not what it probably should be, and
Yeah.
what he wants.
And
it to
what he
be.
expected it to be.
No, I mean, we already saw the offense that he ran in Houston. I mean, what we're doing here is nothing. Not even that. I mean, I hate to say, like, the offense that he did or tried to do in Alabama had shades of what he did with Watson and that team there. What we see here is nothing.
Yeah.
This is still the same offense that we saw last year and the year before.
Right.
I don't
But they also have wide receivers that are named DeShulo, Snellgrove, and Furtado. You can't do much with the wide receiver corps that they have.
No, with these hands.
Yeah. I don't have the speed that I once had, so
And I'm pretty good at Madden.
yeah, we'll leave it.
I never had speed. So
Yeah.
Speed, no, not with these big awkward feet.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's 6 o'clock. Can we do a final topic, not sport related?
Do you guys believe? I shouldn't say believe.
Jesus? We can't do Jesus stuff on air.
All right, well,
We're not doing religion.
I got nothing.
All right, we're out of here. See you guys next week.
Are you guys big on the New Year's resolutions?
No.
No,
All right, so we all agree. All right,
I
here's the thing.
can't. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean,
I tried that years ago, and it was a failure every year.
yeah.
No, I don't even bother. I don't even. New Year's to me is just a Monday or next
another
day off
day.
from work.
Yeah.
That's it.
Another day.
Yeah, I think people go in with high hopes, and usually the New Year's resolution is just to lose weight. But people don't realize how much of a grind it is to get yourself mentally into a place where you can be focused over time.
We
And
know.
the second life comes in that with
Yeah.
one little curveball, it messes you all up. You got to be very resilient when it comes to losing weight. That
Yeah.
means your Saturday nights have to be better. Your kids' birthday parties. There's so much that goes into
There's
it.
especially in the beginning, you have to be very strict. In the
Yeah,
beginning. You
develop
gotta
some
get
good
yourself
habits.
into a-
Snacks that
This-
Michael brings to work.
Yeah, there's so much, and this is what I do for a living, and I talk about the people, and that's why I tell them all the time, just focus on today. Try to be good today, and if you suck today, you wake up tomorrow, you turn that page as quick as you can, because one bad day, for some people, it's led to 5 bad years.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The New Year's resolution is, I'm not going to drink this. I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
drink
live
that.
your life,
It's not-
live your life.
It's just you put so
Much pressure on yourself. I'm not, just try to have good days, check it off as a good day, and then you wake up tomorrow, and I tell my people, win the day. Just win the day. And I tell them, drink your water, eat healthy in the right portions, try to eat a few cups of veggies,
What's today?
and
the 4th.
you already failed. 2024.
I'm all for.
Can,
for four,
can I tell
yeah.
you one of my my New Year's grievances I had this year? Really chapped my budget.
Okay, yeah.
So
I think we want to know.
I don't often get Chinese food.
Okay.
We talked about it last week. I was going to have Chinese food. I don't want to say anything about the restaurant, but go back into last week's episode. You hear me talk about it. I said, yeah, it's consistent. It's good. It's this and that. I'm very much looking forward to it. The wife can't eat it. She finally said, I don't care, guys. You get it. I'll figure something else out. So I ordered this big plethora, smorgasbord of Chinese food. And I go, oh, I'm going to get some nice pork fried rice, some lobster sauce, all this stuff. So the food came in. Everything was pretty good, but then I looked at, everything revolves around my pork fried rice. I like to dip and mix with it. Do you know these people put carrots and peas in their pork fried rice?
It's been a while since I've had pork fried rice. I don't remember carrots and
big,
peas.
Big cubes of onion. Now I understand. I don't like onions. Anyone who knows me, I don't like onions. Peppers, basically anything that's remotely good for you, don't like it. But I'm fine with them mincing them up. They're big. I opened
Take
it.
up space.
I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
what is this?
Well, a
I go,
little bit
this
easier to cut
it
on
looked
a
like
busy day.
like
I was gonna say,
a messed up shepherd's
they're
pie.
making,
Yeah.
making fried rice for a million people because that's the day everyone goes.
Right.
Who puts carrots and peas in pork fried rice?
Yeah.
It filled that dish.
Oh my goodness.
Sure you didn't order the carrot fried rice?
Oh,
Yeah.
I opened. I go, this is got to be wrong.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
kept going through the bags.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, this has got to be something else. It's got to be in here. Oh, it's just, I was just,
I mean,
in
If you find peas in your crab ragoon, then you.
Yeah, now we have an
I
issue.
did because I was like,
Yeah.
no
I'm
one
putting
else
that.
is
I'm
gonna
putting that
eat
on
it.
Facebook.
have
If I'm eating a crab rangoon and there's a pea in there, I'm blasting them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just, it completely,
What is your favorite Chinese food? Why don't we do that?
my favorite Chinese
Besides the
food,
carrot fried rice.
crab rangoons.
Oh, I love crab rangoons. Love them. Me King has a great crab rangoon.
Yes.
Chatterbox does too. But
Yes.
Me King
Well,
for like
Chatterbox get the little ones.
yeah. In Chatterbox is like a little bit more bougie
Yes.
when it comes to Chinese food.
Them and crystals.
Yes. When it comes to like real hardcore Chinese food, the un-Chinese Chinese food, the Americanized Chinese food, Me King has the best crab rangoons of all time.
And you know what? I didn't even think about. And as I'm eating it angrily,
You should have.
and
You didn't go to Me
I,
King.
I thought to myself, I'm like, why
Why the
didn't I go
to
see
Me-
Andrew at Me
Me
King?
King, yeah. And their boneless spare ribs, also delicious. Nice and greasy. Can't get that shit off your fingers for days.
No.
Love it.
Oh, but I was just,
General Gao's chicken.
General Gao's chicken.
Very good.
Love the stuff.
Yeah, all right.
Haven't had it in a long time, but
Are the people at home answering? What
Yeah, Brian, I hate peas and everything too, but I've seen peas in egg foo young before. I don't understand why. I don't understand why this. What the Chinese American food people like? What do they think? Like we love peas?
Maybe there was a sale on peas.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Red Tea Garden.
Red Tea Garden. Never
Isn't
even
that
heard
in
of it.
Plymouth?
yeah, it's over by the airport.
They added soy sauce to house rice. Yeah, but I just crab rangoons. They are. It's all I'm thinking about right now.
Oh, so good,
I
so
ate
good.
a lot of them.
Happy Garden in Plymouth.
Never been there.
It's like the size of our studio,
All right.
and it's been there forever. But
And those are the
you go
places.
drinking in Plymouth, and then on your way out, Chinese. They're open till like 4 in the morning.
Oh,
Wait
like
a second.
the
Is it a
Saugus
little
wings.
shop?
It's tiny, yeah.
Okay. So
Only takeout,
yeah. I did have some.
and I don't know if it's great because you're drunk when you leave in the bar.
I did
but
have some drunk
it's-
leaving a bar, and it was chicken on a stick. What do they call that?
That's at
chicken teriyaki.
the chicken teriyaki, chicken on a stick at
Hong Kong?
Hong Kong.
Oh!
You leave any place that you're at, you're like, I'm gonna get to Hong Kong, get
Let's
my
get
chicken
to
on a
Hong
stick.
Kong.
But
Yeah.
Paul had talks about the Saugus wing. I forgot all about the Maui in
Brockton.
I call it West Bridgewater.
Okay.
But it's Brockton.
Yeah, it's Brockton.
Yep, it's very solid there.
And they also do karaoke.
Eating Happy Garden.
Happy Garden now. Well, but yeah, that's, and I probably now won't have Chinese food again till maybe next New Year's if I get together with
We should have a show, right, where we just have a plethora of Chinese food here. No rice, because we don't want that disaster to happen again. But while we're talking, we can have some crab rangoons. We can have what a show that would
So-
be. As people are watching us, shit all over my face.
So speaking of, I love food.
As do
I
I.
think we all love food. So we had, I mean, not to get into fantasy football, but this year, every year I have our draft here, and I
Okay.
order a smorgasbord of food. This year, myself and another gentleman, Jimmy, were so focused on the food
Yeah.
completely.
sucked.
The draft. I was just like, what pick is it? I'll take this guy. I gotta
You
get
gotta
back
be
here
100%
to eat these
focused on
wings.
any draft.
And if we brought the food in here, it would be people sitting here watching us go, mwah,
Yeah, they would love it. They would love it.
Well,
If
gotta
you're watching
try-
at home, let
you
us
gotta
know.
try
Give us
this.
a thumbs up if you want us to be eating on air Chinese food from Me King.
Cafe Pacific, great crab rangoons. Cafe
All right,
Pacific
all
in Quincy.
So if you need to distract
Great
Michael,
karaoke.
you just bring some food.
Bring some food, yeah.
Oh, man.
But no peas and no carrots.
No
onions.
No vegetables. That's why I like spring rolls. They look so good and smell good, and I always get tricked into taking a bite of them, and I'm like, oh, the vegetables. Oh,
Yeah,
whatever else is like, goes to cabbage.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh.
something like that.
Yeah,
Fill it up with the cabbage.
awful.
We got a yes. I see a big yes there.
Yep, that's
you
Brian.
All right.
Brian and Paul. Yep. So all right. So we're gonna do a Chinese food and.
Would this be weird to ask on air? Maybe I should clear it with you guys first, but maybe we should have like a probably wrong get together where we all go somewhere one day during the week. No,
No, I would
that
absolutely.
would be
love
weird
that.
because you're balking.
No, I would absolutely love that.
Yeah,
I mean,
not here. We
no,
would go to like a
It's
restaurant,
just tough during the week. It has to be like a mid-afternoon weekend.
like a Saturday.
Michael's
What?
days are all pre-planned.
What? What?
He's pre-planned. Like you got to book him like a month out.
Okay,
I-
so he's like a celebrity
even,
of some
even
sort.
then, I booked him for a Christmas party, and
Hey, there was
He
nothing.
couldn't get
There
there.
was
All
nothing
right.
I could do about it. The wintertime. I hate it. This drives me crazy. Anyone else there who has kids or anything, you book things. These things you're looking forward to. Get-togethers, Christmas parties. Everything revolves around cold.
So we'll get a Snell Grove
Sicknesses.
cardboard cutout. We'll bring him out to a bar in Plymouth. I'll go out. You'll go out. We'll bring the crowd with us.
Put a water in front of it.
Put a water in front of him, and we'll send him an occasional picture with the cardboard cutout.
He may be more
this
lively.
is where you could
Yeah, yeah.
be right now.
Yeah,
But he's
no,
been sleeping for 6 hours.
No,
So,
it would have to be a midday Saturday.
so it's probably not going to happen. Scratch that idea. I apologize.
Or right after the show.
Right after the show. All right.
I mean, we could do this live from a food establishment, but we've
Who
done
the hell wants us?
We've done the live before, and
Yeah,
it doesn't go so well.
Yeah, what food establishment wants us?
I don't know. You're a Bridgewater celebrity,
Yeah,
you know.
I could probably get Barrett's.
Yeah, I love Barrett's tots.
Oh, I love any tots.
You know what I miss
I'm like
at Barrett's
Napoleon
that
when it
that
comes
they
to
got rid of?
tots.
You get your Barrett's connections, as they used to have one of my most favorite pastrami subs. Pastrami sandwiches, and it's off the menu.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go to the Fours
Yeah,
in Norwood who's got a delicious pastrami
I think
sandwich.
you were probably the only one that liked the pastrami sandwich.
Oh,
I
loaded-
hate pastrami.
Pastrami loaded
Yeah.
with Swiss on a grilled bun, potato tots.
I'd rather stick a fork through my left eye than eat a pastrami
Yeah, I'm
sandwich.
not big on the
Yeah, I hate pastrami.
I can see why they took it off the
Yeah. They had one
we haven't
person-
seen Mike in
Yeah, yeah.
like a year or so.
This is like a win-win. We get
Save
rid of the
this,
pastrami, we get rid of Snell Grove.
No, I used
That's
to
a
go,
daily double.
Younger, we Barrett's all the time. That's where you end up. Good old Castaways.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
as I got older, Leah and I would frequent there all the time at like 4:30 in the afternoon. She'd get her pizza, I'd get my pastrami and tots,
Yeah.
and then I'd get the hell out of there.
Yeah. And they really got you the hell out of there when they got rid of the pastrami sandwich.
I know.
Yeah.
But
All right. What do we have for a comment there, Dave?
Todd wants a cardboard cutout to go on vacation with Mike for his family pictures.
I think we need to do this. I don't know how we're going to do this, but we need to do this
we'll
apparently.
figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll figure
One
it
of
out.
those fat heads of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peel it off and stick it in places.
Yeah.
No, this is something good going forward. I like that.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I really do. All right, so until next week, next big week this week, we have, by this time next week, Bill Belichick might be out as Patriots coach.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a possibility.
Could end the season with a humiliating Jets loss, which I'm very much looking forward to.
I
And
would
signed,
take it.
sealed him
Yeah.
out the door.
Yeah, I would take it. And
And
we'll
we'll have a
see.
great wild card weekend coming up. I'm
Yeah.
very much looking forward
Hopefully
to
the Red Sox make a move or two.
I have my doubts.
I have my doubts as well. So
And we'll see if the Bruins can keep up the win streak.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have a positive show next. Actually, I think we had a very positive show this week.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's enjoyable. I don't know if it's positive. Are we positive?
It was very
Oh,
enjoyable.
I mean, we hate the Red Sox.
Oh, that's
Patriots suck.
before we get off the air, because we touched on this a little bit earlier when we were talking about the quarterbacks. Michigan. I'm all in next Monday night on Michigan. I want to see them win this game. They're a great story. I love watching them. I mean, I've only seen them watch one game.
Yeah, I love watching them against Alabama.
But I would love to see.
I want to see Penix.
I mean, I want to see them both, but I want to see Michigan win. Sorry, the players running their mouths. It really pissed me off at the end of the game. Like, dude, show something like you were like running their mouths to the Texas fans. I get it, you're amped up, you win, you beat them, but I'm like, it just maybe it's because they keep blasting that
What was
clip in
being
my
said to
face.
them?
I don't know.
No, I
You know what I
understand,
mean?
but you know what, dude? Like,
And these are also 20-year-old
I know
kids.
I sounded like
21.
such an old man.
I know. Like, what were we doing at 21, 22?
Me
How
at
would
those
we
games,
react?
The stuff that I would be,
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
like,
I get it, but I'm
and
like,
Dave said, you
but
don't
I want
know.
to see the amount of money that like Portnoy puts on this game. You know,
Well, regardless whether
I'm
they
a
win or
fan
not,
of him. I wanna
he's
see
going to put
Michigan.
money on this game.
Yeah, I want to see. I would love to see them win. I just love to see Michigan win this week. You know,
I'm all in on Washington. Penix, that's my guy.
I want to see the Andrews family all dressed up in their Michigan gear.
Oh,
you know?
Rob Andrews, that's
Yeah.
right. Big Michigan fan.
Michigan
The GOAT.
forces that poor family to be Michigan fans.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that child abuse of some sort? Like, should we call the
Well,
cops?
I don't even force my kids to be Falcons fans.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I let them.
You
go
change your team
naturally.
every week. If you force your kids, you're going to have to keep buying them new
I
jerseys.
mean, I have a lot of jerseys.
Yeah. So,
It's fun. Again, we're carrying on. So
That's all right.
last week, my son was a little special guest on again. Today, he's over at Jiu-Jitsu. He couldn't be a part of the show. He was very upset. And then what he said to me goes, "What if I wear a jersey? Can I come on the show if I can wear your jerseys?" And I'm like, "Yes, kid."
He grabbed me outside when I was getting out of the car. Did you get any more Bruins cards? So, yes.
you know what he does to me? He punches me when I see him. And I don't know what to do. He just beats the crap out of me.
Yeah.
You can hit him back.
I'm not going to hit him back.
Well, he told me he'd like me to surprise him with some Bruins cards the next time he's on the show.
All right.
No,
Okay, buddy.
He's very much looking forward to get back on the air. He
All
said
right.
he wants to talk sports. I go, what kind of sports do you want to talk? Sports, Dad.
Yeah,
You know.
sports.
I'm like, all right, you got it.
All right.
One of these days. So, all right, let's
On
get
that
out
note,
of
we
here.
are out of here. We'll see you guys next week.
All right.